And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And today, our show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. On today's special segment, well, we're going to be with Sean Lefebvre, and I'm going to be with Sean talking about healthcare on his series, Geared for Wellness. You don't want to miss it. We've got a lot of good stuff. Sean is always terrific. He's with us every Tuesday and Thursday for a whole hour, and it's just phenomenal. But first off, I want you to stand by for news. But first, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific Time, currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? I want to talk to you an encapsulated part of the news so that we can give you an overview of all the stuff that's really hot and important for you to know about today. And then right after that, what I'll do is I'll do a little more in-depth on the news for as long as I can. But first of all, it's the 10 things that you need to know for today, Thursday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today and tomorrow, probably. First off, who came out a winner after a quick release of the U.S. sailors? You know, the rapid resolution of the potential crisis is a victory for Iran's moderate president, Hassan Rouhani, who has promoted greater openness with the outside world. And it's a dismal start to year on Wall Street, and it gets worse. Stocks tumble again on fears of a global slowdown and alarm over plummeting oil prices. You know, it all starts with China and the devaluing of the yen, and then the oil issues going on. But we're all going to enjoy this at the pump, I can guarantee you that. Well, what's the ripple effect of the Powerball mania? Calls to the National Council on Problem Gambling Help line soar, largely because of interest in the huge jackpot that the director of the Washington-based group says. And Jeb Bush vows to stay the course. He tells the Associated Press he's still a viable candidate for the GOP presidential nomination, though he continues to lag in the polls. Well, the Pentagon homes in on the fight against Islamic State. Defense Secretary Ash Carter lays out broad plans to defeat the militants and retake the group's key power centers in Iraq and Syria. Well, the avalanche in the French Alps kills 3. Among the dead are 2 students skiing with a high school group that had ventured into a closed area of the slopes. Well, GE is moving global headquarters to Boston. The company's departure from its sprawling campus in Fairfield, Connecticut, comes several months after the firm complained after the Connecticut's taxes. Well, how the United States employers are trying to lure keeping young workers. The latest perk, helping young employees with their student loans. That's a great idea. And Al Jazeera America is shutting down. The cable news channel, which launched 2.5 years ago, had trouble persuading cable and satellite companies to carry it and viewers to watch. And then finally, Browns snatch Hugh Jackson from the Cincinnati. Jackson, the Bengals offensive coordinator, becomes the struggling Browns' 8th head coach since 1999 and 6th since 2008. Well, you know what? Let's get into some more in-depth news about what's going on in the world today. Let's start off with the Islamic State militants claimed deadly attack in Jakarta. The scene had echoes of the Paris attacks, a bustling shopping area shaken by the blasts of suicide bombers and gunfire as onlookers fled in terror. But when today's assault in central Jakarta was over, the death toll was far lower. Of the 7 killed, 5 were the attackers themselves, and only 2 were civilians. A Canadian and an Indonesian. Another 20 people were wounded. Still, authorities and analysts believe the violence that left the city of 10 million on edge for hours was a loud announcement of the Islamic State group's presence in the world's largest Muslim-majority nation. Supporters of the Islamic State group circulated a claim of responsibility on social media resembling the militants' previous messages. The attackers carried handguns, grenades, and homemade bombs and struck a Starbucks cafe and a traffic police booth in the Indonesian capital's high-profile attack in 6 years. You know what? Don't think it's going to stop. anytime soon anyway. You know, the latest, though, the United States condemns the terrorist attack in Jakarta. The latest on the explosions in downtown Jakarta. The United States is condemning the terrorist attack in Jakarta in the strongest terms. Ned Price, a spokesman for President Barack Obama's National Security Council, says the U.S. will stand by Indonesia's government as it works to bring those responsible for the attack to justice, and it works to build a more secure future. Price says that the nation's thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of the victims. You know, we all have to get together to eliminate the Islamic State, ISIS, ISIL, all of them. Got to get rid of them. Well, fractured field for the big GOP Iowa debate. A smaller cast of Republican presidential candidates takes the debate stage today, or tonight, I should say, with Ted Cruz under new scrutiny for a big loan from Goldman Sachs and Donald Trump labeled by his main rival as embodying New York values. The primetime showdown in South Carolina will highlight a race that has cleaved into two distinct and increasingly heated contests, with time dwindling to sway voters before the February 1st Iowa caucuses. The debate comes after the revelation that Cruz failed to disclose on federal campaign fundraising reports some $1 million in loans used to help finance his 2012 Senate run. The funds included money from Goldman Sachs, the investment banking firm where his wife Heidi Cruz serves as managing director. The Texas senator's campaign called failure to report the loans a mistake. Cruz had previously said that he and his wife liquidated our entire net worth to finance his underdog Senate bid. After months of civility toward Cruz, frontrunner Trump is now targeting the Texan. I know nothing about it, but I hear it's a very big thing, Trump said of the loan in an interview with Bloomberg Politics posted online today. I think he's a nice guy, and I hope gets it solved. Trump is also suggesting the Canadian-born senator may be challenged by Democrats as ineligible to be president. You know what? Now it starts. It's getting ready, right? You better believe it. How about this? Fewer than 100 Guantanamo prisoners are left as 10 leave to Oman. I'm going to tell you all about that right after these brief commercial messages. We'll be right back, so don't go away. I know you want to hear this stuff. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. And I tell you, fewer than 100 Guantanamo prisoners are left as 10 leave to Oman. 10 prisoners from Yemen who were held in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, have been released and sent to the Middle Eastern nation of Oman for resettlement, officials said today, portraying it as a significant milestone in the long-stalled effort to shutter the detention center. The release, among the largest on a single day under President Barack Obama, puts the prison population below 100 for the first time since shortly after it opened in January of 2002 to hold men suspected of links to Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. There are now 93 still held. Lee Wolosky, the State Department Special Envoy for Guantanamo closure, says the U.S. expects to transfer the remaining prisoners who are cleared to leave, about a third of the total, by summer. Guantanamo held nearly 680 prisoners at its peak in 2003 and about 245 when Obama took office, pledging to close it as a symbol of outreach in the war against terrorism and a needless propaganda symbol for enemies of the United States. Well, we'll see if he's able to do that. That's one of the things he wanted to do as he promised the American voters. So we'll see what happens. How about this? Who are the three winners of the $1.6 billion Powerball jackpot? Well, I am disappointed to tell you I'm not one of them. This just came in 18 minutes ago. If they're wise, the three mystery winners of the world record $1.6 billion Powerball jackpot will talk seriously with experts in tax law, financial planning, privacy, security, and other safeguards before they become known around the planet. The lucky trio did not immediately identify themselves, but they bought their tickets in the small working-class town of Munford, Tennessee, in the modest Los Angeles suburb of Chino Hills, and at a supermarket in affluent Melbourne Beach on Florida's Space Coast. They overcame odds of 1 in 292.2 million to land on all the numbers. That would be 4, 8, 19, 27, 34, and Powerball 10. They can let their winnings be invested and thereby collect 30 annual payments, totaling an estimated $533 million, or take their third of $983.5 million in cash all at once. Getting such a windfall is the start of a new journey, and the winners should be prepared with lawyers, accountants, and financial planners before they come forward. California Lottery spokesman Russ Lopez said, "Too many lottery winners unaccustomed to sudden wealth have gone bankrupt, been victimized, or experienced other losses because they were unprepared for an onslaught of unwanted attention," said Andrew Stoltman, an Illinois attorney who has represented winners. He compared it to throwing meat into a shark-infested ocean. But they shouldn't wait too long. California gives its top winners up to a year to contact lottery officials before the money automatically goes to schools. Winners in Tennessee and Florida must claim their winnings within 180 days of Wednesday night's drawing. State and local taxes can eat up nearly half the winnings for many lottery players around the country, but these three could be even more lucky if they live in Florida or Tennessee, which have no state income tax or California, which exempts winnings from lottery tickets bought in-state. They would still owe federal taxes, topping out at 39.6%. The huge draw also produced 8 $2 million power play winners and 73 $1 million winners nationwide who matched all 5 white balls but missed the red Powerball, said Sally Lenford of the Kansas Lottery. The California ticket was sold at a 7-Eleven. The Florida ticket at a public supermarket, and the Tennessee ticket at a family-owned grocery store where the owner, Dana Naife, received a $25,000 check. I need to digest this, said Naife, who plans to share some of her modest bounty with store employees. Florida store collects $100,000, and California's $1 million bonus will be shared between the Chino Hills store owner and the 7-Eleven company. Munford Auto Body Shop worker Jerry Cloddle said he was freaking out when he heard a winning ticket was sold in his town, but then saw he matched only 2 numbers in the Powerball for a prize of $14. He wore a wistful smile as he left the shortstop gas station and convenience store where Tipton County's best chicken on a stick costs $3.69. You know, it's been tough, Cato said. The hardest winter for me here in 17 years. The California store and its surrounding strip mall suddenly became a popular gathering spot in the rural suburb of 78,000 people, where cows still graze on hillsides. Hundreds of people crowded into the 7-Eleven store, chanting, "Chino Hills, Chino Hills." Yeah, you know what? What a great thing. What a great opportunity. The only sad part about it was, I didn't win. Well, Cancer Moonshot aims to speed the fight against the number 2 killer. Harking back to America's triumphant race into space, the Obama administration is launching what it calls a moonshot effort to cure cancer. Don't expect miracles in the administration's last months of office. It probably won't be cured in my lifetime, but I think it'll be cured in yours, President Barack Obama told a 4th grader in Baton Rouge just today. There's been striking progress in recent years, even though cancer remains the number 2 killer. Obama assigned Vice President Joe Biden to figure out how to speed that process. Details are still to come, but topping Biden's wish list is increased research funding and getting scientists to better share data to spur breakthroughs. You know what? I hope it happens. We need that kind of a challenge. Well, Prime Minister says Turkish artillery hit IS positions in Iraq and Syria. Turkish tanks and artillery attacked the Islamic State group in Iraq and Syria in retaliation for the suicide bombing in Istanbul that killed 10 tourists. Turkey's Prime Minister just told that to us today, the country's first significant strike against the Islamic extremists in months. Turkey agreed last year to take on a larger role in the fight against IS amid 2 major attacks that left 135 people dead. But critics contend the country has shown only limited engagement, striking only when attacked and focusing instead on quelling Kurdish rebels. Turkey rejects the accusations, pointing out that it has opened the bases to the U.S.-led air campaign against IS, boosted security along its 550-mile border with Syria to try to prevent IS fighters from crossing it, and cracked down on suspected terror cells in Turkey, detaining or deporting thousands of militants. Turkish forces are also training Iraqi Kurdish forces fighting the militants. Well, let's hope that all happens. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about the IRS loses. Hey, folks, you don't want to miss this. This is good stuff. We'll be right back after just these brief moments.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. association with the nationally syndicated Celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. Let's not waste any time with this. Let's get right to it. In this first case, failure to pay taxes was not willful. Let me tell you about it. A business owner who owed back taxes declared bankruptcy, but the IRS said his non-payment was willful because he had improved his home and bought a luxury car while his taxes mounted. So it could not be discharged. He went to court for some justice. This is what the court judge said. The individual had income of more than $1 million and owed $5 million of stock on margin when the stock market crashed then the 9/11 attacks and recession suddenly wiped out his stocks and cut his business income by 75%. He had committed to the personal expenditures earlier and had mistakenly believed he could deduct his stock losses to offset his tax bill. There was no evidence of any wrongful attempt to avoid the taxes, so they are just dischargeable. Now, just in case you missed out on that number, it was $1 million tax bill. Yeah, and he got away with it, as it should be, because it was honest. How about this? The IRS loses, must pay for delaying a refund. Now, Dino Grisanti entered an installment agreement with the IRS to pay taxes owed by a business that he had purchased and abided by the agreement. But the IRS... There we go. But the IRS seized a $17,000 refund owed to him anyhow. Grisanti went to court to get the refund, and the IRS then paid it. Now, Grisanti then asked to have the IRS pay his legal fees. The IRS answer, the award isn't justified because it had never rejected the refund claim and, in fact, paid it soon after the court filing. Now, this is what the judge said. The IRS sat on that refund for 2 years, giving, the checks in the mail excuses, right? And it seemed no coincidence that the refund was granted only after the court filing. Legal fees are also awarded in this case. So this taxpayer gets his attorney fees too, which, by the way, aren't cheap. Let me give you one more. This is one where the IRS concedes, and you've heard me say it. They only concede when they're pretty sure that they can't prevail in court. That's what's happening here. This is the story. Company owner can make restorative payment to a retirement plan. Now, here's the thing. An individual owned one company with 2 retirement plans in which he was the sole participant, and another company that had made employees or had many employees in its retirement plan. Here's the snag. The trustee of the latter plan embezzled a large amount from it. Federal regulators said that the owner was a fiduciary of the depleted plan who could face legal action as a result. What was the remedy? To avoid government lawsuits, the owner proposed to transfer the assets in his own 2 retirement plans to the depleted plan as a restorative payment. The IRS ruling? The payment is permitted and will not be a contribution to the employee's plan, which would affect its status or their taxes. It is a taxable distribution, but he also gets an offsetting business deduction for it. You know what? It's just common sense. The IRS is just continually trying to get into your pockets, even when they don't deserve it. Trust me. Well, you know what? You heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS does stuff. Well, that's where we're at right now with this segment that we call Inside the IRS. And you talk about it being, kind of a Twilight Zone area. That's exactly what it is. Okay, now inside the IRS is really not tax court cases, but it's precedents and things that the IRS is doing that if you know about it, you can actually use it to your advantage. First up, though, is there's a new IRS staff position. It's called Director of the IRS Whistleblower Office. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Now, Congress has required the IRS to streamline its informant program, and certain complaints by whistleblowers about not getting paid enough now can be heard by the U.S. tax court. Now, the big change? Informants who want to get paid can no longer submit tips under the pseudonym or through a counsel. The changes in the information or informant rewards procedures are supposed to give the informant more insight about how the information provided was used and how much revenue was collected as a result of the tip. It is unclear how this goal will be achieved in light of privacy laws that restrict revealing tax information. So, we'll see what happens with this. Let me give you one more before we go on our break. Dealing with the IRS Office of Appeals. In cases involving less complex issues, appeals officers generally do not need to meet personally with the taxpayer or his or her representative. Documents or explanations not considered by the revenue agent when he proposed the tax adjustment can be mailed to the appeals officer with a cover letter. If this settles your case satisfactorily, fine. However, if the appeals officer informs you that he will sustain the decisions of the revenue agent, insist on a personal meeting. During the meeting, you'll have the chance to discuss the issues at length and not have your position summarily rejected because the appeals officer is eager to hang up the phone. The personal interaction also helps in the give and take in the negotiations. You know what? Always good to have that eyeball to eyeball, because that way you can kind of judge somebody and you can negotiate a lot better that way. Now, coming up next is our own Sean LaFave with his Geared for Wellness corner. This guy is phenomenal. He's so articulate and so knowledgeable about healthcare issues. I can't wait to get him in here. So we'll be right back after these brief messages with our own Sean LaFave and his Geared for Wellness corner.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean Lefebvre, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
Hey, Sean, welcome aboard. Good to have you here. You know what? I always look forward to the day you're going to be here. First of all, it's always the fastest hour I ever go through. I just can't believe it. It's like I lose an hour when you're on the show.
It doesn't go by quick. What I think is going to take up one segment, we don't even get to finish in the whole hour because it does. It goes by super quick.
Isn't that amazing? Hey, what do you have you been exercising? Because I'm hearing a.
You know what? I just ran. I forgot something. I'm on the second floor. My condo is it's two floors, mm-hmm. But then the floor on the bottom is the garages, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to run all the way down 2 flights, like just before we got on the air, and then run back up 2 flights. So I'm a little sorry. All of a sudden I realized that I didn't have something I needed, and then I ran back downstairs to get it. So
based on our show on Tuesday, I'm actually encouraged to ask you, what do you think your heart rate is right now? Are you at that 75%?
I don't know where I am. I'm probably pretty close to 75% right now.
Well, you know what? Let me give you some time to get your breath, and let me ask you what your plans are for the weekend.
I don't really have any solid plans for the weekend.
Oh well, that means you can relax and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably what I'm going to be doing a lot of relaxing, a whole lot of nothing, get some work done, of course. I always tend to do a little bit of work on the weekends, but I try not to overdo it.
Yeah, that's a bad word, work,
Yeah, well, I try to, let's put it this way, I try to be productive.
I never had a job that I considered work. I've been so lucky in my life to have a career where I was anxious to get to work. I enjoyed what I was doing. There was a lot of satisfaction to it. It was never a drudgery. I've just been lucky all my life that way. Yeah,
I wish I could say that all the time, but it's not always been the case for me, but it is. It's an awesome way to live when you quote unquote go to work, but it doesn't feel like drudgery. You wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning excited to go do what you're passionate about, what you love, and that's a cool thing. It's there's really nothing better. There really is nothing better.
And get paid for it. I mean that's super. So listen, we're still working on exercise and diet. I'm thinking, and I was interested. We were talking about the different exercises and things that people can do. We talked about jogging for cardiovascular improvement. We talked about jogging or exercising for stamina or endurance. We talked a little bit about diet because obviously all the exercise in the world doesn't do any good if you're blowing it on your diet, right? And you had said on Tuesday that you would help us out and say, hey, you know what? You don't have to exercise 2 or 3 hours a day. You just have to be smart about it and know how to exercise and what to exercise with and how to eat in order to accomplish what your goals are. So having said that, I think I'm going to just give you the microphone.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we did talk about diet in general and really diet specifically for fat loss. And we also talked about exercise specifically for burning fat and how the two tie in together. And I know that we were talking about your question was, I should say, was, what do we eat before and during and after exercise?
Yeah.
And really that's actually not a very complicated question. It's pretty simple. Kind of the big word there is carbohydrates.
Wait a minute. You said all of that in one breath. That's not very complicated. It's pretty simple. You know what I've learned in my short 70 years of life? Everything's simple if you know the answers.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well,
if you don't know the answers, it's not so god-awful simple.
Well, that is the truth. But the answer is actually a simple answer. It's just not very complicated. So the thing to focus on when it comes to pre and post workouts, or pre and post diet, for working out. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you want to avoid things that are going to make you hurl during your workout. You don't want to sit down and eat a hamburger and French fries before you go work out because it's probably not going to sit well in your stomach.
So you want something light, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So stay with something light. Stay with something that's gonna burn up quickly. That your body's gonna digest rapidly. Obviously, the more simple the food, the more rapidly it digests in your digestive system. So before the workout, stay with some of the more simple carbs. If you've got a real tooth for carbohydrates, that's really the time when you want to kind of spoil yourself a little bit more. I'm not saying go
before the exercise.
Before the exercise, yeah. I mean, don't make it Kool-Aid, or something like that. But maybe some juice would be good. Or there's a lot of like pre-workout shakes, and I think those are really good because they're not heavy. They tend to not task the digestive system.
So you're saying more of a liquid supplement, small before you exercise, right?
Yeah.
So that you're not bloated and stressing yourself.
Right. Yeah. So your digestive system takes a lot of energy to operate, and it pulls blood from the rest of the body. That's why they say not to eat when you go to bed, because you literally are wasting the energy that you could be using to recuperate in your sleep when you're using it to digest food. That's why you should really not eat for 2 hours before bedtime. And so when you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get ready to go exercise, you don't want to eat something that's going to task the digestive system. So I am a big fan of those shakes, the pre-workout shakes. Mm-hmm. I would stick with something that has a whey protein in it. And when you look at whey protein, so I guess this isn't so simple.
Hey, are you suggesting that people should exercise first thing in the morning? Because you started it off that way, right? Are you suggesting that that's when the best time for them to exercise?
I think the best time to exercise is when you enjoy exercising. I tried years and years ago exercising first thing in the morning, waking up and going exercising before I did anything. And some people really like that because they can just get up, they can go work out, it forces them to get it done, and then they don't have the distractions from the rest of the day, if you go out to, say, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I've done that before, and I hated it. I just never enjoyed it. And so really don't do something that you don't enjoy. Don't force yourself. If you have to force yourself to work out, that means you're not having fun. Yeah. So for me, I know that I like to work out typically in the afternoon, which a lot of people hate working out in the afternoon. It kind of disrupts the whole day. You got to take another shower if you get all stinky, or whatever the case might be. But I personally find that working out in the afternoon is more enjoyable.
It kind of reinvigorates you, doesn't it? I'm a little different because I like to my exercise consists of a walk and some other stuff, but basically I like to do that about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm done by 11:30 with what I'm doing, but I get up early. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so by 10 o'clock I'm starting to drag. I've had a couple cups of coffee, a little bit of breakfast in my tummy. I'll go out and I'll do this exercise. I'll come back and it's almost like somebody recharged my batteries.
Right, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's probably the reason why I enjoy it too. Is working out in the middle of the day. When I say afternoon, I'm talking usually around 1 or 2, not like late afternoon, like 4 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't sleep. I don't get up as early as you do. I mean, I think there are times I go to bed at 5 o'clock at night or at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you're a young guy. I haven't set an alarm clock in so many years that I can't even imagine. I haven't set an alarm clock. I'll bet you since the late 60s.
Oh, no way, man. I wish I could be like that because it does feel productive when you get up early. And I know sometimes I'll do that. I'll go to bed, I'm tired, maybe 11 o'clock or something like that, and so I go to bed and I wake up by 6 a.m. all on my own. It feels good. And you're like, wow, I got extra time in the day, and it really does feel productive. But, again, it all boils down to, your circadian. And, I feel like for me personally, and we're going off on all kinds of tangents, but this is still good. I tend to feel more productive between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But if I really need to hammer something out, if I'm working on a project, that's the time when I feel like I can do it the most efficiently. And I really don't. I haven't really tried to sit down and totally figure out why. But my intuition, my belief is that the rest of the world is so quiet, around me. Everyone is sleeping.
Let me ask you this, because when I get up in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I literally have to get out of bed. I can't lay in bed. When I open my eyes, I'm up. I'm out of there. I don't linger in bed. But unlike you, I remember when I was going to school, if I was studying for exams or I needed to learn something, I'd get up at some ungodly time of the morning because my brain was like a sponge. I could just absorb stuff. Where in the later evening, I was taxed. I could go over things 2 or 3 times and still not know it.
Right. Yeah, and you're just, you wake up, you're fresh. Your mind is, especially if you've been dreaming in your sleep. When you sleep, boy, we are going off on all kinds of cool tangents today. But yeah. But when you sleep, obviously, physically, you need the rest. Your body needs to stop and lay down and rebuild, regenerate cell tissue, regenerate, all these different, organs need to replenish themselves and on and on. But when you dream, that's what replenishes your mind.
Really?
And that dream state, they call it REM, rapid eye movement. Yeah. That's what replenishes your brain. So they've actually done studies where they've taken people and they do a sleep study with them. They let the person sleep, but as soon as they get into REM, rapid eye movement, the dreaming, they wake the person up.
Well,
and then they let them go.
Do people? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I'd dream. I'd remember the dreams. I could tell you what they were. But for years and years, I don't know that I even dream, or if I do, I certainly don't remember them. But what you're saying is that if you go to sleep, you do dream. You just don't know because that's how your brain replenishes itself.
Right, exactly. You always dream. You have to dream. It's a necessary part of living. It's impossible to keep your mental state in check if you don't dream. So just because you don't remember them doesn't mean that you don't dream. You absolutely dream. And then, like what I was saying here a second ago, was they've actually studied that, where they let people sleep. As soon as they start to dream, as soon as they start to get in REM, they wake the person up, let the person go back to sleep, and then keep that process going until they've gotten a full 8 hours of sleep with no dreaming. And usually within 2 days, people start hallucinating and they start losing their mind. Yeah. It doesn't take long at all.
Well, listen, when we get back from this commercial break, I want to go back to the exercise, because you already told me eat something light before I exercise. Now I want you to tell me, okay, I've eaten something light, I've exercised. Now when I come back, I'm going to be ready for a pretty good sized breakfast, because I'm a breakfast guy. I want you to tell me, is that good? Is that bad? Or how should I handle it? So when we get back, Sean Lefebvre is going to enlighten us. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400 4900, or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:49 p.m. Pacific time, currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 45 degrees, but you know what? If you live in New York City, it's 6:50 p.m. and it's 37 degrees and overcast. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at, and I'm feeling real good about who I'm talking to, our own Sean LaFave in his Geared for Wellness Corner. So Sean, I've already finished that measly little drink that you gave me before I exercised. I burned it all up. Now I'm starving to death. It's time for my breakfast. What do I eat?
So, this is what depends on the type of exercise you do, but generally speaking, when you exercise, your body has glycogen stores that it pulls for energy. And so really the first thing that you want to do is replace those glycogen stores. And that's done with something like a carbohydrate. It doesn't have to be sugary. It can be rice. It can be, if it's in the morning, if it's breakfast, you could have oatmeal, or you could have potatoes, or whatever the case might be.
So in my case, if I'm having bacon and eggs, the hash browns is going to be the carbs, right?
Yeah. Eat the hash browns first, and then go for the bacon and eggs afterwards. And the reason is because you want to replace those glycogen stores. The body, that's the first immediate need that the body has, is to replace those glycogen stores, because those glycogen stores are what's going to give us the ability to run those sprints. And even though we don't have to deal with tigers out in the woods or in the jungle, or bears in the woods, or whatever the case might be that we have to run away from in case we're in danger, we still have that fight or flight response built into us, and our body still wants to keep that that reservoir in place for that flight or fight response. So if something scares us and we go into the flight mode, we need that glycogen store to get us to where we can sprint away and run.
Okay, so I need to ask you. I was waiting for you to take a breath, but you never do.
Yeah,
so here's the thing.
So I'm running up and down the stairs.
Yeah, you said eat the hash browns first, but when I eat breakfast, I don't eat the hash browns and then eat the eggs and then eat the bacon. I kind of eat it all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is there a reason? Is there a reason you said eat the hash browns first?
Yep. And that's where I was going with that, was the glycogen stores that want to be replenished. Now, because that's such an important process, a lot of people they'll want to drink a protein shake or eat something with protein, because they're going, especially guys who work out in the gym and they want to build muscle. They go, I worked out and now I want to build muscle, and so I'm going to eat protein. Well, like I talked about previously, that your body, when it has a need for sugar, it can take protein, break it down, and convert it into sugar to use to replenish those glycogen stores. And so now you've kind of defeated the purpose of eating the protein to use it to rebuild muscle. So that's the purpose of eating the carbohydrates first and then doing a protein afterwards. Okay,
so a guy like me that likes to mix his fried eggs with his hash browns, that's a mistake.
Yeah, for what you do, you're not out there. If you were hitting the weights and you were really, trying to get into a bodybuilding competition, then you might want to be a little bit more scientific about it. But you're going for a brisk walk. You're getting your heart rate up at a moderate pace, and you're burning a little bit of fat. You're burning a little bit of sugar. You don't have a huge need for protein because you're not trying to build muscle mass. You're just trying to maintain. And so for you, mix them together. It's fine. Take a bite of each one, one at a time, or mix them all together, or however you want to do it. Yeah. So for what you're doing, that's why I said it depends on the type of workout. But if it's a person who, like I used to do bodybuilding, and I used to be a powerlifter, and a powerlifter, we're kind of powerlifters. We kind of have a weird way of looking at life. We just kind of figure if it's food, if it's edible, eat it. If it's free, eat as much as you can, and that's pretty much our philosophy. So, but when I was a bodybuilder, I was very scientific about how I ate, and I would always eat a carbohydrate after a workout, and then wait 20 to 30 minutes, and then eat my protein afterwards to help build the muscle. And the thing about protein to remember too is a lot of people think, you got to have a complete protein, you got to do this, you got to do that. The body needs protein to build muscle mass. Well, actually the body doesn't need protein. What the body needs is amino acids. And so some people will actually take amino acid supplements, which are great, but they're not necessary, because when you eat protein, what your body does is it breaks that protein down into all of its basic amino acids, and then it takes those amino acids and it restructures them back together to create the muscle mass in the body. So you actually don't take protein and just the body doesn't grab just a protein and then stick it into the muscle and then boom, you've got bigger muscles. It actually breaks the protein down into amino acids.
But if you have bad habits like I do, am I confusing my body? The manufacturing system inside my body when I eat the protein and the carbs at the same time, am I confusing my body?
Nope, body's pretty smart. It knows what to do. Mm-hmm. But like I said, the only time that's going to be a concern is if you just had a hard workout, you depleted your glycogen stores, and some guys want to go out and eat a chicken breast. They think that they're then you're not really confusing the body. The body's just doing what it knows how to do, and it's taking that protein and breaking it down into sugar to use it to replace your glycogen stores. But no, for you especially, for what you're doing, because you're exercising at a moderate pace. You're not out running sprints. You're not out lifting heavy weights or running them. You're not running for 10 miles or something like that. So to eat together, that's the normal way that we've eaten for.
But for those other listeners out there that they are semi-athletes, they are out there and they're pumping weights or they're jogging or they're running or doing these things, they should actually be paying attention to what you're saying with regard to eat some carbohydrates first, wait 30 minutes, and then if you want to have a protein, do that to build a muscle.
Right, yeah. For those who work out with a high intensity rate, definitely go for the carbohydrates afterwards and then the proteins. And what's just as important is what you eat throughout the rest of the day too. You want to make sure that your body has, because the body, you work out, your body's going to be recovering the muscles over a day or two, but you've also got to understand the body's also repairing a lot of other soft tissue like ligaments and tendons, and those are actually what take more time for recovery. Like when let's say a person's a bodybuilder or they're just working out in the gym just for physical fitness, and they work chest day. Everybody loves chest day. They're working out chest, and they say not to do it more than say twice a week. It's not the problem with the muscle recovery. It's at this point, it's actually a problem of the ligaments and the tendons won't recover enough, and so a lot of guys will get into the habit of working out too much. Maybe they work the same body part, just 2 or 3 days apart or something like that. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden now they tear something. When someone says I had a muscle tear, it's pretty hard to tear muscle. What they tear is usually a tendon. And a lot of times that tendon actually rips off from the bone is what it does. It's extremely, I've never had it happen to me, but I was actually working out with a guy. I was spotting him, and you could hear it. It sounds like a really loud popping sound. And as soon as it happened, we knew exactly what had happened. It was just horrible.
Now that's something that the only repair is surgical, right?
Yeah, it depends if it's a really bad tear, they'll have to go and do surgery, but a lot of times you can just, not work out for the next 3 months, and usually it'll repair itself on its own. Oh. But so the point of that was that, what you eat throughout the day is just as important as what you eat just before and just after your workout, because your body's, it's rebuilding cells, it's breaking down cells, it actually tears down your muscle and then rebuilds it. And that's a process that takes 48 hours. And so you really want to make sure that your body has an ongoing supply of what it needs, and that's nutrition. That's obviously good proteins. Good fats are really important because all of our cell membranes are made up of fat, and believe it or not, cholesterol is really good. Matter of fact, for guys,
okay, don't go off into a tangent because we're already 30 seconds past our commercial time.
All right, well, we're going to talk about how awesome cholesterol is when we come back. Then,
how awesome cholesterol is?
Yeah.
I can't hardly wait for this. We'll be right back with our own Sean LaFave, and he's going to tell you about good cholesterol. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Sean LaFay. We're talking about exercise and diet. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sean. Now I'm sure we've got everybody as confused as they can get. Actually, the truth is the truth is it's not very confusing. The way you're actually telling it helps a great deal. But let's stay with the scenario that the guy has, or lady has exercised in the morning. She took a little bit of some nutrients in the morning in carb in the way of carbs, and then she exercised, did her thing, came back, had her a normal breakfast, and we know that if she's has a moderate exercise cycle like I do, that she's going to not worry as much about the difference between the carbs and the proteins as you would if you were an athlete trying to build body mass and muscle and stuff like that. But now she's already had her breakfast and she's gone to work, and it's about 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's time for lunch, and I say she, it could be he, and so is breakfast your biggest meal of the day, or is lunch a pretty good stand-up meal for you?
I would say I like both actually be pretty good sized meals, and there's really several different camps. So, you get 10 different nutritionists and probably get 10 different answers on exactly how you should eat. And I think really the important thing to remember is find out what works best for you. I know people that if I ate the way that they ate, I would just feel sluggish all day. But for them it works really well. And I think that we all do have different body types, and we burn calories in a different way. But generally speaking, there's, the rule is, try to eat more of your carbohydrates in the morning, kind of taper them off to where, in the lunchtime, you're eating a mixture of carbs and proteins, and you always want to have good fats in there as well. And then in the evening, really is when you want to kind of get rid of those carbs, because you want your body to start to wind down and not have all that sugar available to keep you ramped up. And so if you eat the protein and the fats in the evening time, dinner time, then really what you're doing is you're kind of satiating the body a little bit more, and you're helping yourself relax, and you're using a source of fuel that's gonna slowly give you energy throughout the rest of the night.
Well, it's like with me, I mean, my biggest meal of the day is generally breakfast. If I have lunch with someone, it'll probably be a pretty good sized lunch. If I have lunch by myself, I might just have a sandwich, or I might have something, something's not real big. But dinners, unless I'm going out, I just have a snack. I don't really eat much for dinner unless I'm having people over, or if I'm going out. I'm just really not that hungry at night.
Yeah, and I'm actually very much the same way as you. I tend to eat. Unfortunately, I tend to eat late, and so I try to keep my meals small. I don't know if that's just that wasn't by design. I think it's just more of my schedule with my son's schedule, and I try to eat with him. And if I know he's not going to be here, then I'll just make something small. Mm-hmm. And usually, literally, I will have something like. Sometimes I'll go stop on the way home at the grocery store and try to find me, like we were talking about the other day, a nice fatty steak, it's got nice marbling in it. And I literally will eat that for dinner, and that'll be my entire dinner, is a grass-fed steak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I do like to get the cuts like you do that are higher in fat, because one is it's good for you, and as long as it comes from grass-fed cattle, and two, it tastes really good.
Okay, so that moves us into another area, because when we went on our commercial break, you slammed me with you're going to talk about fantastic cholesterol.
Yeah. So cholesterol, has really gotten a bad rap over, I don't know, the last 40, 50 years, however long it's been. And it's been really unjustified. And we're finding out more and more now. You can, even in mainstream media, they're coming out more, and they're saying, they're praising the health benefits of eggs and the health benefits of butter and all these different things. And they're saying, okay, well, maybe this isn't as evil as we thought it was. Maybe there are some good things. And what you got to really remember is our body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol and saturated fats serve so many functions that you literally could not live a healthy lifestyle without them. You've got to get them somewhere, and the body will produce them if it doesn't get them. Cholesterol is an anti-inflammatory. So when someone says they have high cholesterol, the thing to address is not the cholesterol. The thing to address is why you have high cholesterol. Where is the inflammation process coming from that your body needs to produce cholesterol to beat down the inflammation? Because that's really what the cholesterol is doing. And you even need to break it down. There's LDLs and HDLs. And we know that the HDLs are quote unquote good, and the LDLs are quote unquote bad. But you also want to have the right ratio between those two. But then the LDLs also have a ratio built in there. There's particle size, and there's the number of particles, and you want this ratio within the LDLs to be right as well. And so all of those need to be considered. But the thing to remember is your cell membrane. Every single cell in your body has a membrane that surrounds it, and that membrane acts as kind of like a wall around a fortress, like in medieval times, to keep the enemies out, and it keeps the bad stuff from getting in, and it lets you remove waste products, and it lets the good stuff come in, and all those kind of things. So it's you've got there's little particles in there that are kind of gatekeepers that allow nutrients in and get rid of waste products and so on. And that lipid bilayer, they call it, that goes around the membrane of the cell, is actually made up primarily of cholesterol and saturated fat. And so, we were told for years to eat, these, vegetable oils, these polyunsaturated, blah, blah, blah. And what we're finding now is, a lot of this stuff is either it's, the hydrogenated stuff we know for sure is bad, but even the trans fats, we're going, this is bad stuff. And people were eating this, not realizing how bad it was, and that replaced the cell membrane. It would get rid of the cholesterol and the saturated fat, and now you got these trans fats that are on your cell membrane, because the body can still be tricked. It's not foolproof. Mm-hmm. And so these get on there. Well, what they do is they're like, think of a gatekeeper. The cholesterol and saturated fat were good gatekeepers, and they kept the bad stuff out. They kept the enemies from getting out, and they let the waste products out, let the good guys in. Well, the trans fats do almost exactly the opposite. They prevent the cell from eliminating waste. It allows more toxins in, because it's a lazy gatekeeper. It doesn't do its job. So we've got to be mindful that don't vilify cholesterol, thinking that simply because we go, okay, what we did is we associated cholesterol with heart disease, and it was more of a coincidental thing than it was it's actually not a coincidence. It's an association thing. The cholesterol was not responsible for the heart disease. The cholesterol was there trying to prevent the heart disease. The heart disease was typically caused by eating wrong kinds of fats, eating too much sugar. It's caused by an inflammation process. Maybe an excess amount of omega-6s like you find in corn and so on. And the analogy to think of is this. Let's say you have never seen a fireman before, and you're driving down the road. You don't even know what firemen are, First time you ever discover them. You're driving down a house, and you see a house on fire, and you see all these guys in these funny suits, a big red truck, and they're out there doing their thing. And you're like, oh, wow, that's really weird. I wonder what that's about. But you keep driving, and a little while later, you see another house on fire, and you see these firemen out there, and you're like, oh, my gosh. Every time I see a fire, I see these guys in these suits. These guys must be burning houses down. And really, that's kind of the mentality we've taken with cholesterol. And cholesterol is not that. Cholesterol is actually our friend. It's the firefighter that's trying to keep the inflammation down. So really, cholesterol is a good thing. Now, going back to, also, another part is our brain. Our brain is primarily saturated fat and cholesterol. Like I said before, our brain uses 20% of our body's energy consumption on a daily basis. Now, going back to working out, especially for guys.
Whoa. Back to the brain. Our brain is mainly cholesterol, you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our brain uses sugar for energy a lot, but our brain is just a big glob of fat, and it's primarily made of saturated fats and cholesterols.
So if you were to restrict your cholesterol intake or those things, you would be harming yourself mentally.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Wow.
Think cholesterol-lowering drugs and Alzheimer's. That would be a good association to put together.
Wow.
Yeah. So, cholesterol-lowering drugs are, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous drugs out there. There have never been shown to ever reduce heart disease at all.
So when doctors are prescribing these statins and Lipitor and all these things, that's something you should be very, very cautious about. Because
I would never take them, ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's a cholesterol there.
Why is there such a disparity between the beliefs of holistic medicine and generally acceptable medical practices? Why is it we can't hit some center of the road with medical science and everybody believe the same thing? Where's the resistance with this?
It's the answer we've given on the show probably 100 or more times is, it all boils down to the dollar bill. We've gotten so ingrained in our culture, this pharmaceutical way of living, that you're never going to get rid of it at this point. And they're going to do everything they can to keep their billions and billions of dollars rolling in.
So they're prescribing this because of the dollars involved, not because medical doctors necessarily disagree with the holistic approach, but because it's not profitable.
Right, exactly. And I think most medical doctors get in the business, to help people, and they want to do right. And they go to medical school, but the unfortunate part is the medical schools are funded by the pharmaceutical companies. And so, they teach you how to prescribe medications to people. They say you have this symptom, you have this disease, here's a drug that we made, that's how you treat it, and when that fails, then you do surgery. And that's basically what they're taught.
No, let me move you into another spot just temporarily. So, because I've heard of MDs, physicians who practice holistic medicine. Now, holistic medicine is natural health care the way you're talking, right?
Right, yeah.
And so,
Dr. Oz is a perfect example of what you're talking about. He promotes all these natural health care methods, all these natural cures for things, and he's ostracized by the medical community. I mean, there was like 10 doctors from his the school, I can't remember where he went, but wherever he went to medical school, they tried to, I think they tried to like get his license taken away or something along those lines. They basically put out a paper saying that this guy was a quack. And anytime a medical doctor stands up and says, "Hey, you know what? There's better ways than drugs," they're typically ostracized. They're treated like a traitor, And
so he's an individual. As an example, he is an individual who has gone that extra step to at least explore holistic approaches to medicine and has determined that is the better route. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And another one is Dr. Joseph Mercola, and he's got a massive website, Mercola.com. But I recommend everybody get on his emailing list, and I have no connection with him or anything like that. I just read his emails all the time. But,
what's scary is we've all been brainwashed and indoctrinated into I was going to say into normally acceptable medical practice decisions, and it's very scary when you hear somebody say, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that," because you've been hearing it for so long, and it's really difficult to switch over to a holistic approach, and most people, I'm thinking, don't until they have no other choices because they've been given some kind of a dire diagnosis and the doctor says there's nothing left I can do for you, so they move on to a holistic approach and probably too late. But don't you find that most people are afraid to maneuver away or step away from traditional medicine?
They are, yeah, absolutely they are, and that's the tough part with dealing with this type of industry is, you're talking, the medical community in general, I want to say, I'm sure billions, but I want to say maybe they spend trillions. I don't know how much they spend on advertising. I mean, look at all the pharmaceutical ads, the ads for the hospitals, the ads for all kinds of things. There's constant bombardment of ads and how much better your life will be if you go see this doctor or go to this hospital or take this drug or, whatever the case might be. I remember seeing an ad for an antacid, and you said, "When is your acid indigestion worse?" And, "Well, after my third cup of coffee." And of course, the answer was, "Well, just take this antacid and you're fine." And my thought is, why don't you just stop at 2 cups of coffee and not have that antacid? But that's a holistic approach. A holistic approach doesn't mean you got to be like this granola munching tree hugger that goes out and like picks herbs and gets a mortar and pestle and grinds them up and makes tea. It can mean just not doing something stupid like drinking that third cup of coffee that's going to give you acid indigestion.
Yeah.
But the medical community literally was promoting. It was because there was 3 examples they gave. One was this commercial. It was a commercial I saw probably 15 or 20 years ago. This is how much it stuck with me. And it was really early on when I was learning more about this. And I thought, how stupid, for whatever reason, something about this commercial made me go, how stupid is that? They're telling you that if you get acid indigestion after 3 cups of coffee, they're not saying stop at 2 cups. They're saying take a pill. And then the other guy was like, "Well, after I eat a large pepperoni pizza," I'm like, "Well, don't eat a large pepperoni pizza then. Maybe eat a few slices or have a side salad with it."
Yeah, if this hurts, don't do it.
Right, exactly. So so you've got this medical world. So you ask me, where's the disparity? It's right there in that commercial. The medical community was intentionally promoting unhealthy lifestyle. There's no 2 ways around that. That's exactly what they're doing. They're saying, eat the stuff that's going to make you have acid indigestion, and then take this pill that we made for you. And so you can't say that that's about anything other than money. It certainly isn't about the health of the patient.
So
it's about selling drugs.
So if a listener wanted to do some research on this, would they go online and just search holistic medicine approaches or holistic approaches, or is there a book that you would recommend that they read to introduce them to this approach to see if they could see the logic in it?
And there's oh my gosh, there's a countless amount of books out there. I can't even think of one that I would.
Well, no, but and not for now because that's putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
But maybe for our next...
there are books out there you can read. Like I said, the one website that I just talked about, Mercola, MERCOLA, Mercola.com. It's Dr. Joseph Mercola. He's a medical doctor who has basically dedicated his life to teaching people holistic health. And, of course, he's got a website. He sells stuff on there, so there's
Sure.
$1, attached to his website as well. But you can go on his website and get all of his emails for free, and it's extremely informative. He's got some great videos that you can download, and you can teach yourself how to live a healthy lifestyle just by going to his website and never spend a dime.
And that is Mercola.com?
Mercola.com, yeah.
Okay, we're going to be right back after these brief messages with our own Sean LaFave. You know what? If you're not listening to this young man, you're missing out. You need to not only listen to him, you need to hear him. He knows what he's talking about. We'll be right back with Sean LaFave after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:24 p.m. Pacific time, currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way to 45 degrees, but if you live in Chicago, Illinois, it's 45 degrees and clear at 6:24 p.m. But we're talking to my good buddy, Sean Lefebvre in his Geared for Wellness Corner. Hey, Sean, you're back on the mic, bud.
All right, so we'll recap on cholesterol, and then I don't know where we're going to go after that. We'll figure something out. But so obviously we talked about cholesterol, cell membranes, super important. We talked about cholesterol in your brain, super important for brain function. You know, we don't want to beat cholesterol down because it really is there to help us recover from inflammation, and it helps with, like I said, rebuilding cells and all kinds of stuff. But here's really cool. And this is especially for men out there. Cholesterol is what your body uses to build testosterone.
Really?
And yeah. So if you, again, try to beat down your cholesterol with these cholesterol-lowering drugs, well, now you're inhibiting your ability to create testosterone.
But even women need a certain amount of testosterone, don't they?
Yeah, women do need. Yeah, they need obviously testosterone as well, just not near as much as men do. So, like I said, that's why I said this is especially for men. But women can benefit. Women need cholesterol for sure, and they do need testosterone. But most women, don't have a problem with having too little testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually not an issue. I imagine it probably happens, but we actually see more of testosterone dominance in women than we do a testosterone deficiency. And, that's another issue to deal with altogether. But the testosterone for a man is it's super important. One is it gives us that feeling of confidence. When a man's testosterone levels are where they should be, he has that confidence. He has that mental focus. If you've ever seen a bodybuilder who does steroids and they have a massive, excessive amount of steroids or testosterone in their body, their confidence level is through the roof. They think they're invincible. It's actually kind of annoying to be around.
Okay, so you said steroids or testosterone. Are steroids testosterone?
Yeah. I shouldn't have thrown the or. I said what I meant was steroids, or another word for steroids is testosterone.
Oh, so, I didn't know that.
Steroids, yeah. Steroids encompasses a whole bunch of different kinds of testosterone. There's the one that tends to be the more popular with the testosterone. They call it T deficiency, or the testosterone deficiency in men that they're treating medically, as they use testosterone supinate. And that's really popular among bodybuilders, because when you take a lot of it, it gives you nice, big, fluffy, pretty muscles. And there's stuff that you can, there's all kinds of different steroids. I knew a guy one time that used to use a stuff called equipoise, which is an equine testosterone that they use for horses. They would give, I think he was saying that they give 1 cc once a week to the stud on the farm to go out and breed with all the mares. And this guy was taking 3 cc's every 3 days or something like that.
So is that what Lyle Alzada took that actually created this cancer that he got? He took too much of it?
Yeah. He took. And football wouldn't be football like it is today without steroids. Because for these guys, anyone who says they don't do steroids in football, maybe the quarterback doesn't do steroids, but nobody.
The front line does.
Yeah, the front line. I mean, these guys are huge. You don't get to be 300 plus pounds unless it's just all fat.
Yeah.
In that case, you're not going to be strong enough to stop anyone coming through you anyway. So, yeah, Lyle Alzado, I'm not sure why I don't know if he just, his guilty conscience took over and he wanted to come out. But for those who don't know, Lyle Alzado, if you're from California and you were alive back in the 80s, you probably knew Lyle Alzado was was he an offensive lineman for the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a brain tumor, and the doctors said it was because of all the steroids that he did for playing football.
Right.
And I don't know, how accurate that is. Because I don't, I was only a teenager.
But you do agree taking too many steroids or too much testosterone is bad for you.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of health with negative health effects that go along with it. Oh yeah, and you don't want to have too much testosterone. You want to have a healthy amount.
Yeah.
And so that's why these guys are going out. In fact, there's even a class action lawsuit out right now for against these low T clinics that are prescribing testosterone to men because men are getting heart attacks and seizures, and I would guess that maybe they're taking more than they should be. I don't really know. I haven't really delved into it too much because it's not really an area that is my specialty. Mm-hmm. But I do know that there is a class action lawsuit. So yeah, you can get too much testosterone. You definitely don't want too much. But if your body's producing it naturally, because you give your body what it needs, like I said, the cholesterol being part of that equation, you're never going to. I shouldn't say never, but I can't imagine you can create enough to where it's going to give you ill effects.
So let me ask you: a guy that is working out because he wants to have an Adonis body, not a weightlifter's body or a power lifter's body, but an Adonis body, like David the statue,
right.
and so he's working out. He's going to build those muscles. Is the body creating enough of its own testosterone for that to happen, or do you still need to supplement it to do that?
In a healthy male, yes. And you've also got to remember that there are different body types. Some guys will never get that big. You have what's called an ectomorphic body style. And those are guys that you see them and they look like cyclists or runners. They're real lean. They don't have any fat, but they don't have a lot of muscle either. My son is a perfect example of that. Mm-hmm. He weighs like 155 pounds. He's my height. He's 5'10" and 5'11", somewhere around there. And, but he has like no fat on his body. And he looks muscular, even though his muscles aren't big because he has no fat. Mm-hmm. And then you have a mesomorphic, which is a person who has a good amount of large muscles and maybe a little bit of fat, but not too much. And then
you know what? My 7-year-old grandson is a gymnast, and when this kid takes his shirt off, it's embarrassing to an old man like me. He is an Adonis. He's rippled in his abdomen, and he's got muscles, and he works the rings and the bars and all these things. He loves it, but he's certainly not taking any supplements. But he looks naturally, for the lack of a better term, I think he's got a really appealing male body
right.
because of the kinds of exercises that he does. And he's a young kid.
Yeah.
I don't know that if he ever stops doing gymnastics and he gets a little bit older, that he's not going to turn into a barrel, because he's not burning up all those calories that he eats anymore. Because a kid eats, I don't even know where he puts it. But at some point, if you're not doing gymnastics the way he's doing it, you're going to not burn all the stuff that you're eating. You're going to turn into a barrel, right?
Right, and that's exactly it. It's not a matter of, he's not doing gymnastics anymore. He wants to obviously stay active, but like you said, just, you can't eat like you can when you're spending 2 or 3 hours a day in the gym, whether it's gymnastics or whatever the case might be. So, yeah, that's all about just watching his eating habits after he decides to not do that anymore. But yeah, some people just naturally have a physique where they're, and I always think of it as a Samoan. So if you've ever seen a Samoan person before, they tend to be just very muscular.
Yes.
They just look like a guy that you don't ever want to piss off.
Yeah. They're not sculpted, but they look solid and tough.
Right, exactly. They're thick. They got big muscles. They got a little bit of fat layers. Usually they have a typical like a layer of fat, but they're not like a big blob either. They're not a sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
So when I think of a classic mesomorphic body, I think of Samoan. Those guys have. I mean, and just genetically, they don't have to work out. I have a friend now, and you talk about endomorphic is the last one. Endomorphic is a person who does have a lot of muscle, but they also have a large layer of fat around that. And I've got a friend, his name is Dennis, and we would go out to eat lunch, and this guy ate like a bird. He eats like he would eat like the equivalent of maybe a couple, 200 or 300 calories for lunch, and that's how he was all the time. He wasn't like one of these closet guys that went home and stuffed his face. He was just naturally a huge guy. He was great big. He looked like he was a football player. Back in high school. He's actually from Iowa. He's like what you would picture, a big old Iowa farm boy. Yeah. That's what he looked like. Just this great big dude, but he ate like a bird. And I'm like, where does all this stuff come from? I've got, in fact, I have another friend, Scott, who was a defensive lineman. Actually, he played both defense and offense, but primarily defensive lineman for the Wichita Wild, which is a semi-pro football team. This guy was 300 pounds, 5 foot. I'm sorry, 6 foot. I was like 5 foot. That's all right. 6'5". I had him backwards. 6'5", 300 pounds. Again, a layer of fat, but a ton of muscle under there. He didn't look like he had a gut. It was just everything was just padded.
Just a big guy. He looked like
he was a vegetarian. Been a vegetarian his whole life. Never ever touched a piece of meat his whole life. And he was just. Some people just genetically, that's how they're built.
Yeah. I should be so lucky.
It would be nice. The one that kills me is these guys, because I've got little skinny legs. Like when I work out a lot, they get not as skinny, but they never really get big. And but I see these guys that walk around, and you can always tell them because they wear shorts. Nothing else. They don't work out, but they get these huge calf muscles. I'm always so jealous, but that is, again, it's a genetic thing. Some guys genetically have huge calf muscles, and they don't ever have to work out for them. But anyway, so where are we at on time? I know we got to be getting close.
Well, you know what? Are you anxious? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm not. But I want to keep going. But I don't want to start getting in the middle of something and all of a sudden we go. Well, we got 30 seconds.
Got 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, wow. All right, cool.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes, and it's going. I don't know about for you because you're the one that's actually producing all the information here today, but it's flying by for me. I just love talking to you.
Well, it's fun. I enjoy it, and it's you always have good questions, and it's fun to go back and forth. But
well, here's the thing. I am convinced that you did absolutely no research for today's show, but you've got this right on the tip of your tongue. This is something that you live, breathe, walk, talk, eat. You know this subject, so you can talk about it forever.
Yeah, because I've steeped myself in it for years, and so I love it. It's like you said, when you love something, it never feels like work. And it's funny, people say if you had all the money in the world, and you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do for a living? I'm like, well, I keep doing what I'm doing because half the time I give it away for free anyway. So apparently I must love what I do, and I really do.
You love what you do, but more important than loving what you do, you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
I can love what I'm doing because it's got a great payday, it's got a great everything, right? But if you believe in what you're offering, that's and love it too, that's where you're at.
Yeah, and I believe it. Obviously, I got into it because I thought it made sense. But then when you start seeing how you're changing people's lives, and getting people off of the drugs, and you're getting people to where, literally, I had a patient one time that she had no energy. She would go grocery shopping, and she would get home, put away the stuff in the fridge that needed to put away, and then the rest of the stuff she would wait. She'd have to go sit down for 30 minutes because she was so exhausted just from grocery shopping. And she was just spent. She had no energy. She couldn't think. And her husband had actually filed for divorce. And and she said she was honest. She goes, I know a lot of the reason why I'm getting a divorce right now is because I'm not the woman that I used to be, and I don't know how to be that. Well, within 6 months, we had her life totally turned around, and actually got her to the point where now she's got the energy and she's doing this. And her husband actually, they went to counseling, and her husband retracted the divorce paperwork, and it was a happy ever after kind of story.
Well, that's fantastic. Hey, listen, Sean, do you know what time it is?
It's time to end the show.
No, not the show. Not the show.
I mean, this segment. I mean, this segment.
Yeah. So listen,
it's the Bob and Sean show.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, what are we talking about? Do you know?
I have no idea. We're going to make that the surprise. We're going to make that one a mystery.
All right, sounds good to me. Sean, this has been fantastic. You're always fantastic. I love talking to you. Go out and make it a wonderful day. Enjoy your son, your significant other, and make everybody's life better because you're in it. Because I know that's exactly going to be the secret to everybody else's happiness.
Well, Robert, I love having you in my life, too, so you do the same, and I look forward to talking to you again on Tuesday.
All right, my friend. Now, for the rest of you listeners, thank you. And for the rest of you listeners, don't go away. When we come back from this commercial message, we're going to do the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teachings for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I hope you're enjoying today's show as much as I've enjoyed it. Sean Lefebvre is just a phenomenal, articulate knowledgeable individual. I love the concept of holistic medicine. I never was a real big believer in holistic medicine, but listening to Sean, the more and more I listen to him, the more and more I believe in it. So, you know what? I'm certainly going to do some research and start reading more about it, because I think that there's got to be a better way. And you know what? The idea that medical practices are geared on money makes an awful lot of seems logical to me. So we'll do that. Anyway, let's get right into today's show. Let's talk about the Harvard Business Tip of the day. And the management tip today is: know how to work for a boss who's younger than you. Part of your job is to support your boss, but that feels tricky if your boss is younger than you are. How do you put his age aside? How do you keep ego from getting in the way of a relationship? Well, first off, reflect. If you're bothered by your boss's age, ask yourself, what's really bothering you? Do you want his job for yourself? Or don't buy into stereotypes. Instead of dwelling on your differences, focus on what you have in common. Avoid pigeonholing your boss's entire age group and steer clear of broad generalizations. How about you just show respect? Your boss may feel uncomfortable or intimidated by your level of experience, so be humble. Recognize that you and your boss both have skills to contribute. And then finally, aim to be a partner. Your goal should be to work with your boss as a peer. Experience gives you credibility, so use it to be helpful and to provide information and counsel. I'm telling you, that will help your career. I promise you it will. Well, it's time for the secret daily teaching for your life. You hear me talk about it. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You know what? Just like we talked to Sean LaFave about holistic approaches to medical health care, you need to be thinking about a mental attitude as an approach to your life, because you control the good, the bad, the ugly. You control it all. It's all about a positive mental attitude. Now, the secret for today is ask once. Believe you have received, and all you have to do is receive. To receive is to feel good. Now, when you are feeling good, you're on a frequency of receiving. You are on the frequency of all good things coming to you, and you will receive what you have asked for. You wouldn't ask for anything unless it was going to make you feel good in the receiving of it, right? Would you? Nah. Do get yourself on the feeling good frequency, and you will receive. Guaranteed. It's all about, that mental attitude. Well, let's talk about the birthdays for today. You know what today is, January the 14th, Thursday, January the 14th, and it is somebody's birthday. And you know what? Let's get right to it. This person was born in 1963, a director best known for directing the films Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Erin Brockovich, Traffic, Ocean's 11, Chi, and The Informant. Happy birthday, Steven Soderbergh. Well, here's a guy, I watch him every week, a rapper, an actor. LL Cool J stands for Ladies Love Cool James. Happy birthday, LL Cool J. Well, here's a guy, born 1969, starring in several 1980s sitcoms. Bateman played the role of Michael Bluth on the television sitcom Arrested Development. Happy birthday, Jason Bateman. Well, what happened on January the 14th today in history? I can tell you, in 1943, Franklin Delano Roosevelt becomes the very first president to travel via airplane while in office, while he travels from Miami in Florida to Morocco to meet with Winston Churchill. And in 1967, the Human Be-In takes place in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, launching the Summer of Love. Between 20,000 to 30,000 people attend. 1967. And in 2005, landing of the Huygens probe on Saturn's moon, Titan. Well, you know what? The phrase for today, or the quote for today, actually comes from an unknown author. He says, "The Energizer Bunny arrested, charged with battery." That's kind of silly, isn't it? Yeah, it makes sense. You know what? If it makes you chuckle, It's a good thing for you. Let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. Did you know termites eat through wood 2 times faster when listening to rock music? Now, there's a reason to keep it quiet around your house, I'm thinking. Yeah. How about this? Japan is the world's leading importer of iron ore. And, you know, a scientist at Michigan State University has calculated that the production of a single hen egg requires about 120 gallons of water. A loaf of bread requires 300 gallons, and a pound of beef, 3,500. Wow. Isn't that something? Did you know 2 golf clubs claim to be the first established in the United States? The Foxburg Golf Club, Clarion County, Pennsylvania, 1887, and St. Andrews Golf Club of Yonkers, New York, 1888. Yeah. And here's one for you. A Hungarian named Ladislo Biro invented the very first ballpoint pen in 1938. You know, you'd have thought it was longer ago than that, but not really, huh? Well, let me leave you with this one. When cows lay down, they get up back feet first. So if you get enough people to sit on their rear end, they won't be able to stand again. Doctors use this when operating and giving shots. Well, you'll see what happens, right? Absolutely. Now, don't go away. When we come back from these brief messages, I'm going to answer your emails. The first email I've got is from Tyler Smith from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. We're going to talk about shared home office expenses, and so we'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics, where we're coming down to the wire. Time for our emails today. I want to remind you that we do this as an entertainment portion of the show. We try very hard to answer the questions that you ask us, comprehensively, but sometimes the information is a little sketchy. So we always encourage you to talk to a licensed professional before you actually do anything. They're required to have errors and omissions insurance, which is the same thing as malpractice insurance, which means if they give you the wrong answer, they pay the piper, not you. That's a good thing to know. Now, my first email today comes from Tyler Smith from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Asked about a shared office space. Says, can my wife and I both claim home offices on our tax return? If so, can we claim the same shared space as an office? Well, Tyler, here's the deal. If you each meet the requirements to deduct a home office, you each can do so. And you can share the office space, such as a room in your home that is used exclusively for business. Of course, you can't each deduct the full cost of the space, or you'd be getting a double deduction. So you should separately deduct a portion of the space in proportion to how you use it. Now, generally, a home office must be the principal place that you conduct a business or be needed for administrative or management activities because you have no office where you conduct the business, such as a doctor at a hospital, right? Now, for more details on this, check out IRS Publication 587 as business use of your home. But I can tell you for the allocation, you know what? Add your wife's gross revenue and your gross revenue together, and then and figure out what percentage of that total is your wife's and what percentage of it is yours. Then deduct that amount as your own percentage of your expenses. That's the best way, and the IRS will accept that. Now, next email comes from Allison Stanfanoff from Wall, New Jersey, asking about solo 401ks. It says, business proprietors don't take salaries, but they can have a 401k plan. How does this work? Well, you know what, Allison? For employees, 401k contributions are a portion of salary because that is all the business income that they ever receive. Now, for business proprietor who takes no salary but reports all of his business's income on Schedule C of his personal tax return, the solo 401k contribution limit equals the first $15,500 of self-employment income, plus another $5,000 added to this amount for persons who are 50 years old and older, plus 20% of all self-employment income. Now, this total may not exceed $45,000 or $50,000 for those people that are older than 50 years old. Now, let me give you an example. Let's just say that you're older than 50 and have $80,000 of proprietorship income. Your maximum contribution is going to be $36,500. Where'd I get it? That first $15,500 plus the $5,000 for being over 50, plus 20% of that $80,000 for which is $16,000 for the self-employment income, and that's where that $36,500 comes from. Well, next email comes from Jillian Stewart from Kells, Michigan, asking about a franchise fee deduction. And she writes, franchise fees must be deducted over 15 years, but suppose one paid a franchise fee to open a business that went broke in 1 year. Can you get a faster deduction? Well, Jillian, when a business asset loses all its value, its tax basis becomes deductible. So if you purchase a business franchise and its value soon after drops to zero, you can claim a loss deduction for the previously undeducted amount of your franchise fee in the year that the loss actually occurs. Now, special rules such as those for franchise fees apply to deducting the cost of or tangible assets. So consult a tax professional before you do anything. You know, we always recommend that you absolutely do that. Now, my last email from Melissa Torres from Ben Hur, California, asking about mortgage default, and says, one person made a loan to another as a second mortgage secured by the borrower's home. The borrower defaulted, but also defaulted on his first mortgage. Now, the home went to the bank, and the maker of the second loan got nothing. Can he deduct his loss? Well, Alyssa, an individual taxpayer who makes a loan like this that goes unrepaid becomes entitled to claim a bad debt deduction. However, unless the individual is in the business of making loans, the deduction is a capital loss rather than a business loss, and the deduction for capital losses is going to be limited. Now, capital losses are deductible against capital gains, with a net capital loss of up to $3,000 being deductible against ordinary income each year. Any excess net capital loss over this amount can be carried forward to be used in future years.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Hey, you know what, folks? I forgot to mention to you that on my next show, John Matthews, Joe Hakos, and I are going to be doing a political simulcast. We do it every Monday and Friday. And then after that, David Garrett will be here to continue his series of Garrett on the Law. Now, and I also want to remind you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. And don't forget to go out and get our apps. If you've got an Apple product, go to the Apple Store, search Robert Cardoza Live. The app is right there to download absolutely free. You can listen to us live. You can chat with us while we're doing the show. You can listen to our archive shows. If you've got an Android product or a Windows product, just go to the Google Play and do the same search. And the app is right there. You can download it. It's absolutely free. You can tell your friends about it. I'd appreciate it. And you'll love all of that stuff. So in the meantime, I want to tell you to be happy. I want you to be safe. I want you to make everybody's life around you better because you're in it. And having done that, I just want to say, until tomorrow, good night, everybody.